for you to enjoy it more. And that's the basil. It's nice. So that's into 4, and we make it 8. I need to bake it at high heat about. Now I'm going to sprinkle flour on top. Lovely. One at first, lovely tomatoes. Lovely. Look at that, amazing. So now we got some fresh tomatoes. I'm going to sprinkle that on top. Tomatoes, like that. Fresh toms, lovely pizza. It's gonna be nice and crispy at the very end. The fresh cherry toms, I love to use the fresh cherry toms. Straight away. On top to make it nice and spicy, So that's the tomato sauce. So that's ready. Now I'm gonna pop in the mozzarella cheese straight away. So remember to subscribe so you don't miss any latest from this lovely channel. So that's the mozzarella cheese. So I'm gonna sprinkle that all over. So just like that. It's a fresh mozzarella cheese. Pour that. So as we proceed, I'm going to show you guys how I made this dough from scratch. So basically, I'm using the pizza 00 flour. So that 00 flour to make the pizza dough. So I'll let you guys know how I made it as we proceed. So now I'm going to stretch out my dough and then get the toppings on. I got my tomato sauce ready, and of course I got my lovely cherry toms sliced already, and of course I'm going to use mozzarella cheese. So we're making 2 pizzas, and so let's get started to stretch out the dough. So sit back, close, and enjoy. Thank you very much. So we're gonna get started now to make a lovely pizza, a pizza margherita, nice and easy. So that's it dough. So I'm gonna quickly sprinkle flour on the worktop. So welcome to my lovely channel. If you're first time watching this lovely channel, remember to subscribe. Flour. Explain how I made that as we proceed. So, and of course we're gonna divide that into 2. So I'm gonna set that aside. I'm gonna pop the other one over there, and then I'm gonna stretch out the dough. Look at that, nice and soft, nice and smooth. So we're gonna stretch that out like that. More flour. So you can use semolina. I can speak semolina. That's alright. Semolina is best. Well, this flour already contains semolina as well, so it's alright. So I'm gonna stretch that out like that. So look at that. So I'm gonna stretch like that. We're gonna do 2 of that. So I'm gonna use 2 of that, one of that to make my pizza. So I'm gonna grab my mozzarella cheese, and then we're gonna finish up with basil at the very end. So we got basil. We're gonna finish up with basil at the very end, and then mozzarella cheese, fresh mozzarella cheese. So we're gonna get started straight away to pop our toppings on top, and then it's gonna be amazing. So I'm gonna move that away. Fresh basil, mozzarella cheese, and then that's the dough. So we're stretching out the dough. You can see nice and big. So that's what we want. So it's nice and big. And then we got some tomatoes. So now I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour So you can use semolina, that's alright, on top like that. And I'm gonna pop. I got some tomato sauce ready. Nice. So I'm gonna set that aside. Leave that open. And I'm gonna pop my, look at that, amazing. Straight on top. Nice and soft. Nice and smooth. Like that. So we stretch, make it nice and round. So I'm going to allow that to cool down a little bit, the tomato sauce. We're going to sprinkle that on top. So we'll allow that to cool down a little bit. And then I'm going to pour that on top. Basil on top. Tomato sauce, like that. I got the tomato sauce on top, so so we got some diced onion, garlic, basil, oregano, and the tomato sauce. Make it a little bit spicy, and of course a little bit of sea salt. Sprinkle that on top quickly. I'm gonna pop the cheese on top. You can use the normal tomato puree. That's alright, or the pasta, or you can make your own sauce. Make it nice and spicy, So that's the tomato sauce. So that's ready. Now I'm gonna pop in the mozzarella cheese straight away. So remember to subscribe so you don't miss any latest from this lovely channel. So that's the mozzarella cheese. So I'm gonna sprinkle that all over. So just like that. It's a fresh mozzarella cheese. Just like that. One of that is alright. You can use the grated one, that's alright. Well, it's a fresh mozzarella. I love to use the fresh mozzarella. The fresh one is really nice. Look at that, amazing. So I'm gonna put that on top. Cheese. Straight away, it's gonna melt on top. Mozzarella cheese. Fresh one. Sprinkle that around it. So now I'm gonna preheat my oven straight away. But we're gonna get that straight into the oven. We're making 2 pizzas. So let me pop that one straight away into the oven. Turn on the oven, preheat that to about 220. You can use the wood fire, that's alright. You can use the normal stone oven. Any oven is alright. So I'm gonna be using normal oven. So that's the normal oven. So 220, 200, that's alright. So now I'm gonna pop that. I'm gonna finish my cheese on top, like that. Fresh mozzarella, just like that. Look at that, amazing, lovely. So the cheese is around it. You can put more cheese, that's alright. Well, this is alright for me. Just it's gonna go around. Lovely, look at that, amazing. So fresh mozzarella cheese is gonna melt on top. Now we have the cheese. We're gonna pop in our lovely fresh tomatoes on top. I got some lovely fresh tomatoes ready. So we divide that into 2 because I'm making 2 pizzas. Nice and easy margherita. So I'm going to tell you guys how I made the dough from start to finish. Once I pop that straight into the oven, to get that cooking, and I'm going to explain how I made the dough, the fresh pizza dough, nice and easy. You can use the normal bread dough, that's alright, bread flour, but don't use the plain flour. Use the bread flour or use the 00. 00 is best. So I'm gonna pop the fresh tomato all around. Look at that, amazing. So my dough is already nice and oiled. It's oily already with olive oil. But you wanna rub oil on top, that's alright. But I already did that. It's nice and shiny already. I don't need to pop oil on top anymore. So I got my fresh toms, the fresh cherry toms. I love to use the fresh cherry tom. Lovely tomatoes around, make it look nice. It's gonna grow bigger and bigger. Look at that, amazing. Super margherita pizza from start. This is an Italian style pizza with the 00 flour. So pizza toppings are ready because just margherita, three recipes. We have just a lovely tomato sauce, and of course tomato, and of course lovely basil. We're gonna finish with fresh basil. So we're gonna get that straight into the oven. So what I'm gonna do, tomato is ready. So I'm gonna make the other one, get that straight into the oven and pop the other one in. So we got the second dough. I'm gonna stretch out the second pizza dough straight away. Yeah. So as I said, I'm using 00 flour. So that's the one I'm using. Makes it go lovely. This is 00 grade. It's Italian flour, perfect for making fresh pasta, pizza dough, and Italian style bread. So that's lovely. But you can use the normal bread flour to say that's alright. So this is gonna go straight into the oven. I've preheated the oven, so we got our lovely pizza going into the oven. I'm going to finish up with basil at the end. So as I said, I'm going to finish that with fresh basil. So let's get that straight into the oven. Our oven is nice and hot. Let's start baking the pizza. So as I said, 220 degrees, that's alright. 220 degrees Celsius, the centigrade. So straight into the oven, my friends. Yeah. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. So that's baking now. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make our lovely second pizza. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour. So that's alright, nice and oily. You can make it out. You know, about can have this anytime. So once it's ready, from start to finish, it's gonna take a little bit of time. Yeah. So straight into the oven, and then I'm gonna explain how I made the pizza dough from start to finish. So keep watching because I'm gonna explain that. You don't want to miss the explanation. So let's get that straight into the oven first. Straight into the oven, my friends. Amazing. So you can see, I'm going to show you, it's almost cooking, that one. Yeah, you can see. Look at that, amazing. See, it's cooking, it's almost ready. You can see that? So we're going to wait. It's going to take a little bit of time. Let's give it about 5 minutes. We're going to check that for about 5 minutes and see what's going on. In 5 minutes, should be ready. Amazing. Look at that, amazing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wipe my wok top. With my fresh basil, I'm going to sprinkle that on top. And I'm going to slide over the pizza cutter. Let me have a look. Take a look and see. So I got my fresh pizza cutter. I'm going to use that to slide my pizza. I'm going to play that. We're going to get started to enjoy our pizza. So I'm going to clean my wok top, make it nice and clean. So my wok top nice and clean. So you've just joined this live stream, we're making a lovely pizza margherita from start to finish. So basically I said, so as I said, I promised to explain how I made it dough from start to finish. Though I made lots of pizza in this channel, I made lots of pizza from start to finish. I explained, I showed how I made the pizza. All we need is a bowl. You grab some warm water, you know, just a little bit of warm water, basically about 200 grams of warm water is alright for 500 grams of flour. So 200 grams of warm water. Make sure the water is not too hot, it's just warm water. You put your hand, your fingers in, you know it's nice and warm. Pop that in, that one, mix that together with a spatula, spoon, just mix it together. Pop in your flour, keep mixing, and then pop in olive oil, and then sea salt. Nice and easy. Mix it together and make it easy. Get your fresh tomatoes, and of course, when you make it, you're gonna check what's going on. You from the window, you can see. So you can see what's going on. You can see the pizza is almost ready. So that's the first one in the oven. So as I said, uh, this is at this is 220. So that's the maximum, but I'm leaving that at 210 or 200. That's all right. So is there cooking? I want it nice and golden. You can see the cheese is melting, my friends. Look at that. You can see through the window, the glass. The cheese is melting. So it's going to be ready in a couple of, probably in, let's have a look, 5 minutes. Cheese is melting. Once cheese is melting, it's ready. Tomato is getting brown as well. A little bit. This is what we're talking about. Once it's nice and big. This is lovely, lovely, fresh pizza dough. This is what we want. Amazing. So, my friends, yeah, we're gonna slice the pizza very soon. Lovely. I cannot wait to slice my pizza. So, my friends, I'm going to wash my fresh basil. So I'm going to stick it on top now. So fresh basil, I'm going to wash that. Smells very nice. Nice aroma. That's what we're talking about, the flavor. It gives you the flavor we want. Yum, yum. I'm going to wash that quickly. Nice and quickly. Lovely. Amazing. Yeah. So that's a fresh basil. Yeah, that's fresh basil. So that is the mozzarella cheese we use. That's the one, mozzarella cheese. Get that straight into the fridge. All my friends' pizza is ready. So let's slice our pizza now. Amazing. I'm gonna wash my hand and then we're gonna set the pizza. Lovely. Yeah, amazing. Pizza is ready. Lovely. I can perceive the aroma. Nice and easy. So let's have a look. So I'm gonna play that here. With my glove. Thank you guys for your chat. So I'm gonna check that now. So that's a rectangular one. You can see that, very nice. That's still cooking. Look at that, amazing. The rectangular one. And that's the, look at that, that's the round one. Amazing. So I'm going to sprinkle fresh basil on top. Look at the mozzarella cheese I've melted. Now, you can see it's nice and golden. And then we're going to pop in the fresh basil. So let's slide it. Look at that basil on top, fresh basil on top. We're going to slide that straight away. I'm going to enjoy that now. Amazing. So I'm going to use the pizza cutter. Can you hear that? Nice and crispy. You know. Very nice. You can see. Remember to subscribe, my friends. Yum yum. That's the melted cheese. Nice and crispy. Perfect lunch, dinner, breakfast. That's alright. You can get that. Nice and crispy, nice and crunchy. Thin crust. Yum yum.